fallout from the umpiring in the Essendon and the Geelong match on the weekend, Caro, has taken a turn today.
It has, Sam, and interestingly, we haven't seen Laura Kane interviewed in the spot that has become pretty regular on the AFL website. That's not something you'll probably be seeing again, Sam, certainly not for the rest of the season.
That's changing.
There's been a decision, a reset at AFL HQ that too much focus has been on umpiring. It's taking up too much time. The AFL view is that this was a great round of footy, 6 really close games, etc., and all anyone's talking about is the umpiring. And I'm going to talk about the fallout from the Essendon game in a moment, Matthew, but I think that's a really significant shift. The AFL is insisting, and Laura Kane is saying that she wants to continue to be as transparent as possible, happy to explain any explanation, but no more Monday televised explanations as we've been seeing all year. I mean, we remember
the back of the North Melbourne
the unfortunate non-50 explanation probably wasn't terrific. No, they're not saying that, but that obviously was probably a bit of a misstep. So what happened today is that Brad Scott received a phone call from the AFL footy boss, Laura Kane, obviously wanting to talk about the series of unfortunate events, as the Essendon coach called them. She's admitted, first off, that the Jai Menzies rushed behind, and she's apologised for this, and the umpires have admitted that that was the wrong decision. Let's have a look at what happened to poor old Jai Menzies at the start in the first quarter against Geelong when he attempted... So he doesn't actually shepherd the ball through. He pushes it out and Big Shannon Neal gets a goal. So Jai Menzies is told in no uncertain terms during the quarter-time or half-time break not to do that again, that when he's under pressure to rush it behind. So what does he do in the third quarter, Kane?
He rushes it.
He rushes it behind.
Yeah.
And what happens? He's pinged and Geelong get a goal.
So they've admitted that was wrong?
They've admitted that was wrong. Brad Scott, I understand, has appeared on Fox Footy tonight, and he's gone through every decision, but what happened after this conversation with Brad Scott and Laura Kane is that he had a lengthy meeting with Michael Jennings, the umpire's coach, and Stephen McBurney, the umpire's boss, just pleading for some clarity on what they think, what's the philosophy around holding the ball. Now, I think that meeting ended. It was a lengthy meeting at AFL HQ with some serious philosophical differences between Brad Scott and the AFL, but at least an understanding of where the umpire is going. The umpires are saying that not every decision in that series was wrong, but certainly more than one. Several of the decisions were wrong. So a pivotal shift in the communication from this week of how umpiring decisions are going to be explained, and some big concessions from the AFL, and definitely, you know, and several people have said this today, it definitely changed the momentum of the game.
It's big news, Caro, and it's what you do. And Lordo, I sit next to you a lot, and one of your frustrations, as far as I can read it this year, is the change from the AFL and the changes that they make mid-season. I know this may be a small thing, but not fronting the media to explain decisions like they have done for every week for 16, 17 weeks, and then to back away from that on what it must be the fallout from the Laura Kane non-50 metre decision.
Oh, no, I think it's the right decision.
It's the right
but it's not mid-year.
But
do they think that we are not now going to discuss umpiring decisions? How's today?
Yeah.
How's the coverage of umpiring decisions? Do they think that not clarifying those is going to stop us talking about and fans talking about umpiring?
No, but I also think it's micromanagement that doesn't help
anyone.
anyone.
It's to Lordo's point, it's another change.
I think it's an absolute mess, whether they want to speak publicly or they don't want to speak, and they go straight to the clubs and tell them. We had yesterday Ollie Dempsey think one thing. We had Kyle Langford think another. Only earlier we...
But that's okay. They're like players are allowed to think different things.
No, you got to. They don't know what's right and what's wrong. So some players, half would have thought that was the right decision, half would have thought that was the wrong decision. Now Laura comes out and say they got it wrong. Travis spoke only a month ago, said I would not have a clue what the holding the ball is. I don't think we're that much clearer now since the decision has been rectified.
But Matthew, they're damned if they do, they're damned if they don't. I mean, Brad Scott actually went on radio a few weeks ago and said he didn't think it was great that Laura was going on every week explaining decisions, because half the people are going to disagree with you anyway.
Ross Lyon said the same, but if you say you're going to do something, see it through. If you say you're going to be more transparent, see that through.
I totally understand.
Not if it's not working.
I think they listen to too many. What other bosses of an organisation listen so much to people? So Chris Scott says one thing, so next minute they're out meeting Chris.
Pretty
the next
important
minute
stakeholder.
They are pretty, but mate, be have some fortitude in what you want to do as an organisation.
So you think there's a lack of leadership in
I
AFL
think there
outside?
is, absolutely, there's a lack of leadership.
Wishy-washy.
Oh, I think that's rough. I mean, I think she's been bagged for doing it every week. Now they've decided to go down a different road, but at least explain it if you want it explained. I mean,
But not everyone has a vehicle to ring the AFL and have that conversation.
Well, we all do.
But the average fan doesn't. And they want to hear from
You don't have to
those
explain
decisions.
you don't have to explain every
But
decision.
if you commit to something, I think you see that through.
Yeah, but you don't. Once you get caught
So
in the weeds,
Matthew's
it's very
saying
hard to
they
get
shouldn't
out.
be listening to everyone, and you're saying they listen to every fan.
No,
I
but
mean,
it's the perfect opportunity to explain to the fans who don't have the vehicle to ring Laura Kane and get an explanation of
No,
some
you don't have to
contentious
explain everything.
decisions.
It's not their role to. It's actually not their job to explain everything either. It's umpiring. They're going to be wrong decisions every single game.